name is Laverne Johnson. I live at 51 Lorraine Terrace, and I'm actually speaking on behalf of Marlene Wertheim. Dear members of the City Council, it has been an inspiration for me to be a part of the process that resulted in this tree ordinance draft. A large-scale, destructive, and indiscriminate removal of healthy, beautiful trees on a private property on Cedar Street that was rezoned for commercial use produced a community outcry that resulted in the formation of Citizen Tree. This group, comprised of concerned Mount Vernon residents, set about to amend the current city tree ordinance to expand its coverage to private properties and to include protection with enforcement of all green spaces. It's important to note that we set a record in demonstrating how government and citizens can collaborate successfully. It was for over a year that the Planning Board and Citizen Tree worked together to put forth this final draft. The benefit of trees goes far beyond their aesthetic appeal and concern for property values. I'm certain that speakers today will elaborate on this. With Mount Vernon's mantra being development, development, it is crucial that there be a constant reminder by means of a legal document that trees are a significant Mount Vernon asset. I'm sorry that I can't be present today. Accept this written statement as a reflection of my dedication to and support of this draft before you. Sincerely, Marlene H. Wertheim, co-chair, Citizen Tree.
Are you handing that in for the record?
I am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Evelyn Feldman, co-chair Citizen Tree, 12 East Cedar Street, Mount Vernon. Dear members of the City Council, here in Mount Vernon, it has been an enlightening 6-year journey for me and my family. We have found ourselves invested in a city where homeowners, neighborhood preservation, and the quality of community life isn't safeguarded. This became apparent to us when our property was negatively impacted by an unrestricted cutting down of 30 healthy cedar trees. Fortunately for us, we found committed longtime members of this community to help turn this devastation around into a valid plan for future prevention. This draft is a milestone opportunity for a more balanced approach to the development of Mount Vernon. By adopting and implementing these proposed revisions and amendments to the current tree ordinance, this city would improve awareness and re-establish respect for trees, which are such a vital community asset. It would provide guidelines and, if enforced with due diligence, would make a significant contribution toward protecting our citizens' properties and the general character and health of our former tree city. Final decisions regarding zoning and planning should not be the domain of profit-seeking builders. Preserving, replenishing, and expanding our green spaces is essential to the proper city design. To facilitate this, we need an instrument that will educate, monitor, and enforce the survival of our silent green assets. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You handed that in? Okay. Thank you. Take the mic down for her. Just take the mic out and hold it for her. There you go.
Joey Noah Brown, 12.
Ma'am, excuse me, little ma'am. Could you just give us your name for the record, please? Joy Myra Brown, did you say? Okay. Maybe continue.
Joey Noah Brown, good evening. But now, says the one slur, now that you're here, the word of the Lord seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, members of this council, we need a law that will save our good trees. Thank you and good night.
I don't normally do this, but I think I'm raising the floor. Welcome to government.
Starting from, good evening, Council, Roger Brown, 12 East Cedar Street, Mount Vernon. I'm in support of the tree ordinance updates because our municipality is historically recognized as a city of trees. Many old, stately, and healthy species thrive here, establishing a meaningful link between the past and present, and with this ordinance, links to the future. Mount Vernonites have a vital interest in the planting and preservation of trees within the city's borders. Collectively, the green infrastructure of trees and their ecosystems provide important services and benefits to us. They provide their aesthetic appeal, beauty, and shade make a home, our neighborhoods, and community more livable and improves property values. Their roots hold topsoil and impede erosion. Their leafy canopies and spreading root systems absorb rainwater, inhibiting excess water runoff, which helps reduce flooding. Trees provide a habitat for birds. The birds in turn eat and limit insects. More importantly, trees generate oxygen and contribute to what is casually referred to as fresh air. People like myself move into homes here because we're surrounded by plenty of trees. Now, for Mount Vernon, it's imperative to adopt a tree ordinance that is comparable to other cities and villages in Westchester, and to establish a method to minimize damage and prevent any willful or unwitting destruction to our arbors and the character of our city. This tree ordinance before you is meant to provide, in the minimum, some basic standards to help the city protect and preserve the valuable inheritance and benefits of trees growing on public and private land as community assets. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christine Gibson, 40 Vista Road, Mount Vernon, New York. So, I don't have a prepared speech, but I just want to say, first of all, I was one of the people in Citizen Tree who helped write this ordinance. And I'm sorry that Councilman Edwards is not here, because one of the things that he would often chant is that people in the community need to get more involved. And this is a group that came together. We met every week to work on this ordinance. We all became experts in trees and in our particular areas that we had to research. And one of my disappointments in this process taking so long is that when we were trying to get our neighbors excited about other things in the city that needed to be changed and where people could pound in and help, and people were getting excited because they saw what we were doing, the process took so long. And even though I am content that we finally have a version, I still think our original version was much better. Okay? People will talk to you now about, the asthma, less asthma when you have trees, better insect and control and all the things that trees do. But, and certainly, I think you should know that by now because we've been here in front of you for so many years to have this conversation. It's very interesting that the former mayor used to always compare his hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, to Mount Vernon. And Mount Vernon, which has only 10 parks and on 9 acres total. Charlotte has 210 parks, 17,600 acres. So when you go there, and I have certainly been there, when you walk in the town, there's a sense of community, there's a sense of freshness because of the air. So certainly, I'm for this new ordinance. I want you to pass it. And we'd like for you to move a little
quicker in the future so that we can help you move the city along.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. Please don't give up on the things that you're working on. We appreciate what you do.
Good evening, Council. My name is Damaris Monet. I live at 346 South 4th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. I got out of work tonight to come here, and so I'm just going to give a little timeline. 15 years ago, I left the Bronx to move into a community that I wanted, a community of color and trees. And I wanted a nice, diverse community, and I came across and I found Mount Vernon. 3 years ago, I was actively recruited by community members to begin to protect our trees. And so the key points that I want the council to keep in mind, trees create our oxygen. They provide an ecosystem in which they're protecting animals in the area that do vital services for our land that we are unaware of, that we as human beings do not do. It improves and maintains our property values. It helps mitigate asthma. It helps with the aesthetics of the community. It saves on water waste. It does pollution control. And I just wanted to, as a reminder, that the reason why Mount Vernon has been able to maintain being its beautiful city that people still want to move into, it's because the trees remind us of an established community. And established communities throughout the United States always have big trees. Newly planted communities that end up having health problems and health impacts actually have smaller trees and have few trees, and small trees do not do the work of an adult tree. So we know as human beings that children do not do the work as adults do. So please keep that in mind, and the reason why we felt that it was very important that since 1968, Mount Vernon had not looked at or amended their tree ordinance. It's now 2017, and we are hoping that after 3 years of our hard work of getting together to do this, that we finally move ahead before the developers decide to chop down all our trees.
Jane Curtis, 98 Pearsall Drive. It is a real pleasure to be able to stand up at a Mount Vernon public hearing and speak in favor of a proposal. This tree ordinance enhances our quality of life. It preserves our environmental heritage, and it sets the tone for a future of smart development. I want to commend the members of Citizen Tree for their vision, for their persistence, and for their commitment to the betterment of our community. Thanks to Citizen Tree for leading and for illuminating what is possible. And thanks to the City Council for your favorable actions on this proposal.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paul Avery. I'm 14 Alameda Place here in Mount Vernon. I've been a homeowner for about 14 years. I only found out about this meeting the other day, so I'm not involved with a lot of the other citizens here, but I do have a feeling about the trees in this community. While I applaud surviving, planting trees and maintaining trees and so forth, I do have a gripe, though, about how the trees are maintained here, because I can just tell you within the blocks that I'm most familiar with, my own street and the surrounding streets, there are many diseased trees, many rotten trees that are dropping major limbs. So it's one thing to go about and pass ordinances in favor of trees, and I'm all for that, but on the other hand, there has to be a certain amount of stewardship. And there's no stewardship here in this city, really, for these trees. I've called whoever's in charge of the trees, and my neighbors have also. It's a waste of time. So I really wonder if this is really productive other than passing another ordinance, whether things are really going to be properly maintained. In my block alone, a number of major limbs have fallen, crushing cars. Fortunately, nobody's gotten crushed. I have, these godforsaken Bradford pear trees that are diseased they leaf out in the spring and quickly turn brown and black. You drop the disgusting leaves all summer long. It's talking about beautification of streetscapes or maintenance of home values. It does squat for that. And I've been after it. Please, please, please remove these damn diseased trees from my street to no avail. And then, you have the practice of planting trees under the lines, the utility lines. Why not just plant new trees on the opposite side where there are no utility lines? Because what happens, you plant a tree, and then utilities have to come along and hack the trees away, and then they're not beautiful. They're eyesores. And so maybe a little common sense about what we do for new trees, removal of dead and diseased trees, would go a long ways towards, I think, fulfilling the goal of everybody here and the city in general. So I wish to God you guys would do something more proactive in terms of the stewardship of the trees that we already have and any future planting of trees. You don't plant them under utility lines because they just look like hell. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I have your name, please, again?
It's Paul Avery, 14 Alameda Place.
Good evening. My name is Henry May. I reside at 127 East Cedar Street. I just left tonight a meeting that I'm very much involved in at the Board of Education, having to do with parent involvement. Our objective of parent involvement is to do as much as we can through parents for the children who represent the future. And we want those children to be able to survive. And so parents have a lot to do with helping them to survive. I've been involved with this tree business. I'm a city guy. When I tell people, yeah, I'm a member of the Citizen Tree Committee in Mount Vernon, they look at me like, you should be more concerned about the park and about the basketball courts and whatnot. Here you are you a tree hugger? And so trees are a strange commodity to a lot of people. A lot of folks don't understand that trees are very important. I've been involved with finding out about trees myself. And so I've communicated with some of the experts that have a lot to do with tree maintenance, the selection of trees that belong in this community, and what they do for us. Again, this is another issue that addresses survival of our children in the future. So here I am torn between parent involvement in the school system and community of citizens who came together to address survival and our what we call tree assets. These trees are like money in the bank, and we want to be able to protect them. There is no doubt in my mind that we will have a tree ordinance that protects the trees. My concern was who would be responsible for making sure that that happens. Whether that would be something that would happen next year with a different group of people on the city council, with the planning board, or is that something that will happen this year? Is that something that should have happened 2 years ago? I can remember coming before this August group, and the current mayor was a council person when we first addressed the business of trees in this chamber. And it has taken us that long to get it to this point. I'm very encouraged that at this point, it's moving forward. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone Anyone else that would like to speak in favor?
And if you have a document you'd like to hand in for the record, please feel free to hand that document in so it can ever be part of the long-term record, permanent record. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Delia Farquharson, 468 North Fulton. And I cannot think of any reason not to support a tree ordinance in our community. There's so many environmental reasons why trees are a good thing, are living things that we need in this community to support the wellness, the overall wellness of this community. And Mr. May has dedicated so much of his time to educating our community on why this is important. So I just want to be on record as being fully in support of this tree ordinance.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience in favor? In favor? In favor. Is there anyone in the audience that is against?
I'm in favor, but I have nothing to say.
Okay.
Well, would you just like to go to the mic to put your name on the record and just simply say your name, your address, and I'm in favor?
Joanne Bennett, Richmond, 72 Valentine Street, Mount Vernon, New York.
Thank you.
Good evening. Donna Jackson, 127 East Cedar Street, Mount Vernon, New York. I'm in favor of the tree ordinance, and as an avid researcher, I look forward to helping this tree committee research all the grants that are now available to them, the Arbor Trust and the New York DEC, and all of these bodies that have thousands and thousands of dollars that can help us remedy the beetle infestation and things of that nature. So yes, I'm in favor of it and I look forward to supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So are there any speakers against?
Stacy Osborne, 86 Central Parkway, Mount Vernon. I set myself a little bit of a difficult task here. I first want to say thank you to my fellow citizens, some of whom I spoke to on the way in, because I appreciate when citizens come together. It's something that hasn't happened enough in this community. I'm glad they take an interest. I also want to say that apparently, and again, unknown to me, partly this arose out of things that occurred on Cedar Street. I remember when that was brought before the Fleetwood Neighborhood Association, and what happened there, there are always many sides to a story, but I didn't really necessarily agree with what occurred on Cedar Street. My particular concern, and my elder mentioned survival, is, I remember a great many storms in Mount Vernon, and Hurricane Sandy, and as the gentleman mentioned, trees are both keep us alive, but they also cause a great deal of damage. My particular and maybe technical concern is the effect the ordinance may have on private property owners who maybe they, as I said, they have a tree, and I understand I'm not dealing so much with developers, but existing homeowners. Maybe they're getting elderly, maybe they have a tree, that's been there for years. I've had many on the properties I've owned, and I'm concerned that, there isn't the right kind of exemption to protect homeowners as far as developers. When I look at the city of New Rochelle, particularly code, and I'm sorry I printed it out, I don't have it, 301-25, activities permitted by right. That's 301-25 of the code of the city of New Rochelle. It does allow that when the lot is less than an acre and the owner goes to remove it, they do not have to go to the building department. There are issues in the city with going to, having to pass through for residents, getting permits, or doing anything dealing with city departments. I don't think I need, that you see enough in the Journal News, I don't think I need to recount the possibilities. It's very difficult for private property owners to deal with that. And so I really would like the consideration of some, as I said, exemption along the lines of New Rochelle and other cities have for, as I said, small private property owners who own houses. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak against? Anyone to speak against? No one else to speak against? Everyone has spoken in favor and against. I'd like to have a vote to close the public hearing. Any motion?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Are we still gonna receive comments on it?
Yes,
How does that?
and then if I may, thank you, Councilwoman, I'd like to amend that motion to receive more written comments until this Friday at 5 p.m. or at the close of business this Friday, 4:30.
Could I send you something?
That's-
My issues?
So, exactly, so the point of having, keeping comments open in written form is so you can do exactly that. Do you think by Friday you'll get the time? Thank you, we appreciate it.
Some of the concerns about.
So, sir, thank you, sir.
We'll do that. Okay. So it's public hearing session.
Okay,
Take a roll call.
Madam President, I would like to amend that again so we can leave written comments open until
Well, the
next
motion
Friday.
the motion hasn't really actually been second, so you can just correct your motion.
Right, so I would like to leave written comments open by the advice of Councilman Wallace until not this Friday, but next Friday. Thank you, at close of business next Friday.
We need a date.
Next Friday is the 31st
Okay.
of May. No, March.
So it's a 7.
Waiting for spring.
It's here.
Did you so move that, sir?
So moved.
You have a second? Second. Roll call on closing of the public hearing. Councilwoman Copeland,
Yes.
Councilman Griffith,
Yes.
Councilman Wallace,
Yes.
Council President Russo.
Aye. Thank you all.